Oh, not yet? Okay. Welcome, everybody. The new Voices Team Europe is exciting to be here with you this evening, of course, like always. And please, who have the microphone open, please mute yourself, that we can hear us better. Welcome to our second episode of Leadership Style for Lions and Leaders.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome.
How you know, the Lions International is one voluntary organization, and our leaders don't have not power, not authority. For this, make more difficult to lead, because how do you get people to be in action, to be involved? How to make people to listen to you? This is one very big question what we put when we start in Lions to lead our team. And this make more difficult because you get people very emotion, and we have only ingredients that we have. It's the trust, inspiration, and motivation. And for this, sometimes the people, the leadership can fail in his position. Because people can just quit, and also can, what can we do? For this, we are leaders would like to prevent this kind of reaction. For this, we have to be very careful how we say the things. To one provocation, first we have to be quiet. Second, to prepare diplomatic our answer and reaction. And this can be also one big challenge, how you know. Okay, I want to present our speakers. How you know, I am Daniela Holzheimer from Romania, past district governor and a member from beginning of our New Voices team. Our guest this evening, it's past district governor Zeynep Kocasinan from MD 118 Turkey. Yes, she is the GAT leader 4D in Europe, New Voices team member, and also Lions New Voices Taste Stop team coordinator, and she would make very good job in this preparing this in Turkey. And she is also the Lions Global Leadership, was choice like Lions Global Leadership New Voices in 2018-2019. She was my proposal, and I am very proud about her and about her work in New Voices. Our second guest is past Council Chair Jodi Burmester from MD 27 Wisconsin from USA, has been a Lion for many years, 28 years. She's in service. She's co-hosting the Burmester virtual cocktail party. Perhaps you know all for Lions from all over the globe. She is fantastic in her job. She is also one of the founder of Lions Virtual, and she served numerous leadership positions with a great experience, and she trained the DG school group leaders and FDI facilitator. She's guiding Lions certificate and also many more. I am sure she make the great job. Okay. In the beginning, our Zeynep, she will present us what we can, which kind of style we can choose in our association and leadership. Please, Zeynep, the floor is yours. Please start your presentation.
Thank you so much, PDG Daniela, for the wonderful introduction. I really owe it to you to be a part of this great New Voices family. Good evening again, everyone. Tonight we'll be talking about leadership and leadership styles. And as Lions and Leos, as volunteers, we need to understand how we experience leadership and leadership styles in our clubs, in our districts, and in our lines organization. Every one of us, regardless of our position or title, is a leader. We lead as we take part in a service activity, or when we invite a new person to become a member. So knowing and understanding leadership styles allow us to bring clarity to our interactions and to give us opportunity to make better decisions. May I have the next slide, please? Leadership styles may be defined as styles of providing direction, implementing plans, and motivating people. It is now widely accepted that leadership can be developed and improved, through self-awareness, through improving our related skills, and with experience. The good leadership is using right leadership styles at the right place and time for the job at hand. At this fireside, we'll talk about 6 leadership styles, which have been identified by psychologist and author Daniel Goleman, who's famous for his work on emotional intelligence. He defines these styles to be useful for leadership that gets results. We are also reminded that although we may be inclined to use one leadership style which matches our natural behavior style, we're actually recommended to purposely select which style to use and to be responsive to situations that arise rather than reactive. So let's look into these styles a bit more in detail. May I have the next slide, please? The first style we'll talk about is commanding. This style is about telling people what to do and when to do it. So the leader gives orders, and those orders are expected to be fulfilled, expected to be followed. And the phrase that describes it is, do what I tell you, do as I say. This style works when there's an emergency situation, when you need to maybe kickstart a turnaround. Decisions can be made very fast, and it can be beneficial in the short term with low-skilled and inexperienced teams. However, this style is very dependent on the leader and lacks creativity and collaboration. The second style is visionary. This style works when a new vision or a clear direction is needed. So the leader here inspires the team, others, to pursue a long-term vision. And the phrase for it is, come with me, follow me. The leader is expected to be, or is, a catalyst of change and uses empathy, participation, communication, and goal setting. It's considered a very strongly positive leadership style. Visionary leaders value innovation and creativity, as well as being proactive. On the downside, with great emphasis on the future, leader may lose sight of the present. So this may cause inattention to short-term activities. The third style is affiliate. Affiliate leadership focuses on relationships and people. So this style, when used effectively, builds trust and harmony in the team. Its phrase is, people come first. The leader, again, uses empathy, builds relationships, and encourages communication. It is effective to motivate people during stressful situations. Also, when there's a need to heal breaks or separations in the team. On the downside, if it's used excessively, having very close relationships between the leader and the team, this may bring fear of conflicts, and therefore not addressing different, difficult situations properly in the group. The fourth leadership style is democratic. Democratic leadership is when an empowered team takes full part in the decision-making process, and suggestions can be brought forward by any member of the team. Here, the leader works to achieve consensus in the decision-making process. And the phrase for it is, what do you think? It is democratic leadership styles effective when it's necessary to have acceptance and support for the idea or the project, and when valuable input and involvement from team members are needed. It enhances creativity, collaboration, and communication for complex problem solving and engagement. However, sometimes it can be slow when fast decisions are needed, and it requires highly skilled teams and can be difficult if team members lack experience and know-how. The fifth style is pace setting.
And this is system resources may affect your audio.
Yes. This is a style that we need to be a little careful, like the first style, like the commanding style. Here, in the pace setting leadership, the whole focus is on performance and results. So with this style, the leader sets high standards of performance for himself or herself and the team. And the phrase for it is, do as I do. It is used when achieving results is considered to be very important. It could be used to get quick results from a highly motivated team and a competent team. However, if used long-term, it could cause burnout and it could cause high stress levels in the team. And finally, the sixth and last leadership style is coaching. Coaching leadership is when the leader coaches team members to develop themselves in the long term, to become better individuals and better professionals. With this style, the leader develops people for the future, to improve performance and also to develop long-term strengths. The phrase that describes it is, try this. Of course, this style coaching requires time and patience. And also on the downside, our focus cannot always be, of course, about, our team members' long-term development. Sometimes we need to focus on short-term issues and day-to-day operational issues. Therefore, it may not be appropriate when results are needed quickly. And also, this style requires equal intent and interest from both the leader and the team member, since they'll be working more closely together. And the team member needs to be open to change and growth. So these are the main aspects, the pros and cons of the 6 emotional intelligence-based leadership styles. Of course, all of these leadership styles require skills that we can develop and improve with training and practice. Leadership styles is a very vast topic, so today and in the future, we will continue to dive deep into leadership and leadership styles in our New Voices Europe events. I hope that you will enjoy today's fireside. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Zeynep. We will start now. Maybe you have some opinion before we have to listen to your opinion and we have to discuss. We split in 5 breakout rooms. We have 15 minutes in each room, and I want to present the question what we put in each room, and also who will be the host of each room. The room number 1 will be hosting by Zeynep, and the question is, what is your experience with the leadership style of your Lions leaders? Room number 2, it's hosted by Eva person, and also will help her, her husband Kenneth. The question is, what would be your preference leadership style in Lions? Room number 3, it's led by Stuart, and here it's a big challenge. Is there a difference between female and male leaders? We wait the conclusion. And room number 4, it's hosted by Jodi, and the question is, what is the difference between a business environment versus a voluntary organization when it's come to the leadership? And room number 5, it's hosted by me, and the question is, what kind of competence do we need for leadership in our association? Please, Anelia, help us to split the rooms, and also we will come back with the conclusion. If you want to make presentation after, it's free to say the conclusion also, not only the host rooms. Thank you.
We're back.
We are
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Okay. Elizabeth Dawn can join us. No, she's without.
Daniela, I'll put my camera down because my internet connection is unstable.
Okay, but maybe you want to say some words for us, or not?
No, it's yours. It's your session. No, I won't interfere.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just a participant.
Okay, I would like now that we share our conclusion from each room. We start with room number 1. Who want to say the conclusion?
Thank you so much. Thank you, PVG Daniela. The question for our room number 1 was, what is your experience with the leadership style of your Lions leaders? We had a very good discussion. What I can summarize is the democratic leadership style seems to be more and more dominant in our districts, and we evaluated that we see visionary, democratic, and affiliate leadership as well, and less commanding leaders. And also, for example, in Ireland, we discussed that this coaching is also a style that's used in addition to visionary and democratic. And also from PDG Isabel from Portugal mentioned that, democratic leadership is possible when we have strong leaders who are willing to listen and then lead. We had a couple of pastors, governors from Turkey and Lions from Turkey, and they also mentioned that democratic leadership is more in place, and visionary and affiliate leaders. Leaders are using these styles, interchanging them as needed, which we discussed that is as it should be. But also there's this one comment that from Lion Meral that she mentioned that being a Lion for 40 years, in the past, leaders maybe were not as knowledgeable about leadership. So now as we know more about leadership, we are able to use the positive with these leadership styles that we call like the democratic leadership, visionary leadership, affiliate leadership, and we are now able to use a mixture of those. So this was a summary of the discussions that we had in room number 1. Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone who contributed.
Thank you, Zeynep. Room number 2, who will make the summary, Eva or Kenneth?
Kenneth will do it.
Okay.
On behalf of the leader, Eva.
Okay, thank you.
Well, our discussions were very, very interesting because Yeah, we concentrated really on two of the leadership styles. It was democratic and visionary, and then there were discussions about why and how, and also Carlo from Portugal gave us a very good story about how these leadership styles had made a really good success in membership. Where they increased membership by 100% in a very short time. So we think, the participants in the group too agreed upon that democratic and visionary styles are the most preferable styles that members would like to have. That conclude the discussions in room number 2, and I also would like to thank the participants for joining.
Thank you very much. Room number 3. We are exciting to hear your.
Good evening. Good evening, my fellow new voices. Very nice to see you all. This is Stuart reporting from Group 3, and our topic of conversation was there or is there a difference between female and male leaders? A somewhat controversial topic, I have to say, and I was a little nervous, but the group was a nice split between males and females, and we had a healthy debate. There was discussion. Well, somebody didn't like the question at all, and another person hadn't really thought about it. But there were conversations around the fact that female leaders tend to be a little more emotional and empathetic, or showing empathy, which was felt to be a positive thing. And that male leaders tended to be a little more assertive, again, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. Somebody did suggest that males were more organized, but we decided not to officially tell you who said that, because we're very fond of him and we'd like him to still be with us after this conversation. I think the general conclusion was that generalization is dangerous, because we all know very good female leaders and we know some bad ones, and we all know some very good male leaders and we know some bad ones. But ideally, any leadership team should be made up of a mixture of males and females, so you get the best of both. And I think that from a leadership position would be the conclusion of the group. One other interesting thing was that any country that had a female leader during the recent COVID crisis had a lower infection rate and a lower death rate. That was brought to the group, which was interesting, something I wasn't aware of. And of course, as Lions, in 105 years, we've only had one female leader. So we've got lots to learn, and we look forward to having another female leader in 2 years' time. Thank you for allowing me to chair the group, and thank you to all my participants. It was a really healthy discussion. Thank you.
Room number 4. Jodi, please share with us your summary.
Well, room number 4 was talking about the difference between leading paid employees versus volunteers. And we had attendees, 2 of them from the Netherlands, 1 from Denmark, 1 from Mexico, 1 from Turkey, and then myself from the United States. And all of us agreed that paid employees, you have a lot more tools in which to get your paid employees to do what you'd like. So as volunteers, we spent a lot more time talking about volunteers and leading volunteers, and that we need to build enthusiasm and use our charisma to motivate and inspire our volunteers while leading by example. We need to work together in a lot of ways, because the bonus to being a volunteer is the good you feel by giving your volunteer service. So we use our goals to motivate. We also have to provide a vision that not only our members can follow, but that they believe in and jump on with. You cannot dictate to volunteers what they're going to do and expect to be very successful. One of the key points that came out was, in a volunteer organization, a good portion of leadership is all about trust. Can your members trust you to lead them down a good path and help them be successful in reaching their goals as Lions? We also talked briefly about the need to appreciate our volunteers, and that thank yous and compliments go a long way. Above and beyond pins and other formal recognition, informal recognition is huge. So I think that covers most of what we talked about. I have 2 pages of notes. So hopefully that summary covered what we had, group. If I missed anything, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Thank you for the chance to talk to y'all.
Okay, thank you, Jodi. To room number 5. We have find many competencies what we need, like leadership style in our association. First, we have to listen first. After, we take the responsibility to be very enthusiastic, to be flexible, to have integrity, to have passion, to make balance between the district, the club, the members, to have open mind, and also to know to guiding the people and to find the right people for the right position. And so for sure, the communication, it's very important to be leader in Lions voluntary organization. Thank you for all participating from room number 5. What was very exciting and very many stories and share with us experience. Thank you. Okay, somebody have some questions or some conclusion or something to say? Somebody want more to take the floor? No. Okay, I would like now that Jodi present our becoming a wool leaders. Please, Jodi, share with us your experience. Unmute, please. Okay.
Yes, I keep muting myself and I forget, so thank you. I'm really excited to be here today. I am Lion Jodi Burmester from the United States, and we're going to talk a little bit about the concept of being a whole leader. It's really a different way to look at leadership styles than those 6 Goldman styles that Zeynep presented just a little bit ago. I do want to let you know that the content for this session comes from our current District Governor-elect training program, and it's just one example of the excellent leadership training our incoming governors are receiving. But the really cool message for all of us, even if you're not coming into the role of governor, is that this type of leadership training curriculum that I'm going to present really exemplifies the training that's available to each and every Lion through the Lions Learning Center on the Lions Clubs International website, and also in a variety of face-to-face leadership trainings that you're going to find in your own area, regionally and internationally. So with that, Amelia, if we can go to slide 1, that would be fantastic. In simpler times, leaders could be successful even if they were one-dimensional. But in today's world, we need leaders who demonstrate a more complete set of qualities on a consistent basis. In other words, whole leaders. Whole leaders lead with their head by providing clear purpose, direction, and strategy. Their heart by understanding, working with, and developing others. And guts, doing the right things based on clear values. As you can see, head, heart, and guts plays directly into the Goldman 6 points. It's just rearranged in a slightly different way. So other points about whole leaders. They're lifelong leaders who take responsibility for their own behavior. They prepare and continue to develop their skills always. They also manage to balance their head, heart, and guts to inspire every Lion to be the best that they can be. So as we take a closer look at each of these traits, think about your own leadership style and how you've used your head, heart, and guts to motivate others and to help meet your goals and the goals of your club or district. So here we go with the first one, and that is, let's talk about the heart leader. I'm sorry, the head leader. When you lead with your head, you provide clear purpose, direction, and strategy. And I'm going to go through the traits pretty carefully, but we're going to kind of get through we'll talk through the pitfalls in a broader sense. So let's start with the positive traits. And head leaders rethink the way things are done. They look at breaking old paradigms and changing mental models so that not only is the leader open to new ideas and possibilities, they encourage innovation, new ideas, and possibilities from every member of the team. The second piece is they think like a potential member. Whether you're talking about potential members or current members, the volunteer experience is a competitive battleground. There is always someone out there looking for volunteer time. So in everything you do, you need to envision ways to create value for your current and potential members. Head leaders also balance strategic and operational thinking. They translate strategy into clear priorities and action plans that allow everyone to be successful. And then really important, and something that we've missed for very many years, is to create a climate of accountability to ensure that the goals are met. and that each team member is following up and following through on the action plans as agreed. The last part of the head leadership traits is a head leader is able to develop and articulate a compelling point of view. They communicate this through a compelling purpose and vision, and they describe what they need from others on the team so everyone can be successful. And not only describe it, they ensure that their team members understand what the goal is and how they're going to help get us there. As you're looking at the pitfalls, you know, those are some really great traits that a head leader brings to the table. But if you're only a one-dimensional leader and leading with your head, there's a number of things that might cause challenges. Things like intimidating people with your intellect. You come across as knowing it all. You might be telling too complicated of a story. Or because you're so excited about this great idea, you may dominate conversations and not let others in. Often head leaders also change direction without transparency, fail to connect during change, drive for performance without considering the team, and fail to develop others. As we move on to look at the next stage, which is the heart leader, those heart leaders are the ones, and when you lead with your heart, you're understanding, working with, and developing others. And one of the biggest pieces of that is you as a heart leader, when you're leading from the heart, are balancing your members' needs with the organization's requirements. You are enabling others to feel supported and allowing them to speak up. We heard this just a few minutes ago. You are listening to others and what their needs are, so you can ensure that all are in sync. And then maybe most important in all of this is to consider the impact of decisions on morale and performance. Often when we're making decisions, we don't think about the morale and performance impacts it might have on our membership. And it's an important part of the discussion as you're setting up your goals. The second point of strength of the heart leader is that you develop strategic relationships inside and outside of your club. You do this by extending trust to others and encouraging collaboration across organizational boundaries, maybe outside of our own organization and across your city and other areas of your geographic area. This third piece is really important. You work with and lead a diverse team. And this was brought up in the group discussions as well. The empathy. When you exhibit real empathy, you can relate to people from diverse cultural backgrounds and perspectives. And regardless of where they come from, you encourage all to be involved and to share their views openly and honestly and without prejudice towards the other members of your team. And last but not least, certainly not least, is to develop talent. We are always looking for that person to replace us in our leadership roles. And good leaders realize that developing talent is a strategic imperative. It's up to each of us as a heart leader and as a leader as a whole to promote continuous learning through Lions and beyond, and to help others reach their full potential through mentoring and connecting with other Lions and other leaders across the globe. But like with the head leader, the heart leader brings some great skills to the table. They also have challenges if you're just focused on being a heart leader. Sometimes you let your compassion get in the way of tough decisions. Other pitfalls are really important is you may mistake empathy for agreement, fail to address and manage conflict. The heart leader is more likely to let others take advantage of them because they're being, quite honestly, too nice. And sometimes they fail to stand up for what they believe in, and they are unwilling to let people not like them, so they fail to override their desire to be liked by everyone for the good of the group. So that's the basis of leading with your heart. Our last piece is talking about our guts-based leadership. And that is you do the right thing based on clear values. First and foremost is acting with unyielding integrity. This is more difficult and more necessary than ever in today's environment. Acting with integrity creates enormous positive energy in the organization. To do so, you need to be clear about what you stand for and do what's right, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. You have to be looking always to balance the risk and reward. You have to understand the complex situations that you're faced with and have the heart to balance how risk will affect the people in the organization, all while making sound decisions based on a lot of times limited data. And this is key. When you're balancing risk and reward, you are uncovering and challenging assumptions. Assumptions that are your own assumptions and also the assumptions of others. By educating everyone on the same data, you get everyone on the same page, which allows you to make sound decisions even with that limited data we talked about. Our guts leadership is where we take an active stance on managing conflict. It takes a lot of courage to raise tough issues for the good of the organization. When you're leading from the gut, you step in when a project or process is going off track. That goes back to the accountability we talked about just a moment ago. And you're challenging individuals who are derailing success. You identify if they're causing the group to go off the goal and helping them get back on track so the whole group can be successful. And perhaps the most important piece of leading with your guts is to be a champion for change. I hope by now, with all the change and all the conflict we've gone through the last couple of years, that we all realize that change is constant and it is definitely not going to slow down. So as a guts leader, being able to clearly communicate the need for change and then to be the champion or the cheerleader for new ideas and actions is key to the success of leading from your gut. But like our other two traits, guts leadership brings some great skills and also some other challenges. A lot of times our gut leaders see everything as black and white with no gray area. They're very focused and persistent in whatever topic they're working on, which sometimes might confuse others as they may be on to other topics. This is a big one, people. A guts leader often doesn't permit others to challenge their way of thinking. It is a very autocratic way of leading, which may unintentionally intimidate others. And again, obviously you don't solicit others' views because you're not willing to listen to them. And a lot of times a guts leader, when you act from your gut, is leading without anticipating consequences. And perhaps ignoring other facts to place too much emphasis on your own opinions. So as we look at the strengths and pitfalls of the head, heart, and guts leadership traits, you really start to understand the power of whole leadership. You can see how all three traits working together ensures a team's success. You can also start to recognize that an imbalance in the three traits can have a very negative effect that can make us appear cold or gushing or irrational or inconsistent, unpredictable, or a steamroller, or someone who just bends with the wind. Every time things change, they change with it, essentially eroding our overall effectiveness as leaders. I'm going to, since we're running a little low here on time, Amelia, I'm going to ask you to stop sharing the screen now and go on to kind of wrap this up here a little bit. So the ideal is that we are each a whole leader, but this ideal may not be realistic depending on the goal or situation, because it might be impossible for one leader to exemplify all three traits at a level that ensures success. That's where your team comes into play. If you've built a diverse team, you should have members with preferences in head, heart, and guts. Utilizing their skills and strengths to balance the overall leadership of your club or a district allows for the best possible outcome for all. So with that, I'm going to wrap up by letting you know, just like Zeynep's topic, we could spend weeks on this topic. I'm going to share one quick screen or quick in the chat window, a link to an additional area that I found to be very helpful from a company called Truity that takes this head, heart, and guts to a whole new level and ties it back into Goleman's 6 leadership styles, which should help tie it all together for everyone. So I'm going to close with this, that becoming a balanced whole leader is always a work in progress. You always have to be conscious of what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you're presenting yourself. It also means you're constantly working to develop yourself while also helping to develop those on your team. So I want to thank you for your time today and for your commitment to growing your own leadership skills. We need great leaders like you to ensure our future, so that we can continue to ensure that where there's a need, there's a lion. So with that, thank you, and hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening.
Thank you. It was very interesting, your presentation. Thank you very much, Jodi, for sharing with us your experience. Okay, somebody have some question for Jodi? If you have, put please in the chat. And because we are just in time, we have more 2 minutes. Please, I want to remember you about our next fireside. It's the last one of this year, and also we will reflect back in the beginning of the New Voices initiative, which grow to one movement, building success. For this, please join next meeting, put in your agenda, and to have one glass of champagne close to you, because we will celebrate 4 years of working hard for our team. Thank you, Elizabeth, for coordinating this team, and we had 4 years very great together, and also with you all over the world. Thank you, and be a new voice in everything you do. Thank you very much, and I am very happy to be this evening with you, all of you. Goodbye. See you in the next.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Daniela.
everyone. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you very
for
much.
joining.
Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zeynep.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, PDG, Shima.
Glad to see you again,
Thank you to
Daniela.
all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye, all.
Thank you.
Thank you, PDG Panos, and thank you for your comments. Thank you.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it.